How's it going, guys? So this is kind of a impromptu little live I decided to do. My friend Frank sent me a very interesting video. This is, I guess, a Joe Rogan podcast with a very recent one with two gentlemen by the name of Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. And supposedly, allegedly, they talk about how, without realizing it, really, they're talking about UAPs, UFOs, and well, let's see what they say, and let's see what we can analyze it a little bit. So let's see if I can share the screen here. One sec, guys. 1 second. Apologies. Okay. Let's do it like this, and then we'll start it up.
It was officially acknowledged that we're not alone, or do you think people would just start going crazy for more answers? Because I think that's the fear of people. They can't just say one thing.
I think in today's day and age, with the news cycle that we have now, where things are just in the public eye, out of instantaneously, nothing sticks, everything keeps moving. There's scandals and wars constantly. I don't think it would register. I think people would have to have actual physical encounters with UFOs before it really made sense to them. Because I think right now it's just this idea. It's in the air. It's vapor. It's just like you could talk about it if you like. You could read about it if you like. You could watch blurry videos if you'd like. But it doesn't have any weight in your real world.
By the way, guys, this is kind of what I've been telling Frank. That's why I don't. I'm trying to get excited, but it's very difficult. But let's keep listening.
Now, if we start seeing them, if they're like hovering over Los Angeles and they're undescribable and they rocket off into insane speeds and smaller crafts come out of the mothership, and if that kind of shit happens, that would get real weird. That would get real weird real quick, and that could lead to chaos. That could absolutely lead to chaos. And if we somehow or another had proof that, maybe we are some sort of a science project or some product of genetic engineering, or maybe the human farm thing is real, that they literally created us to try to get us to do things here, or to try to recreate souls, which is like a very bizarre thought, that the soul is a thing that we carry around, and that there's some sort of value to having so many souls.
That's like, this is old school. This is my gateway drug into UFOs was John Lear. And first time I sit down with him, he's like got this big cigar and he's looking at me and he's like, "We're all property. We're property." I'm like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And he was talking about how the aliens saw us as kind of like a wine, and our bodies are containers, and our souls are being matured as like a commodity. For these, like he was a wild dude. Like, I'm not saying I believe any of this. I'm just saying he gave me that idea day one.
When he said matured, like, is a soul of an intelligent person more valuable than the soul of a dummy?
I wish we could ask John Lear, but he's dead.
You know what I'm saying? What does that mean in terms of like aging our souls, maturing our souls?
Maybe through experience, like hardship experience, love, joy. Like maybe I'm just talking crazy right now, but this is I can do the John Lear. John would say every experience you have in life is what makes your soul mature, from your joy and your love to your hate and your anger. Live without envy, hate, or greed. That's my John Lear impression. Yeah, he was
it makes sense. If your soul is ultimately a representation of who you are and how you stand in life, it would make sense that would be fortified by your life experiences, and it would make it stronger, like everything else. Like your life experiences make you wiser. Wouldn't, if the soul's a real thing, the more value you put into the world, the better you behave, the nicer you are, the more you learn to be honest and truthful, all the different things that we hold up as high qualities for human beings. It would make sense that would like enrich your soul.
And just getting better in life, right? Like if for you 20 years ago and you today, we all hope that we look at our past self and we say we've learned something.
Sure.
We become a better person, become more loving, empathetic, better and more creative at presenting ourselves into the world and making a difference. So that's a cool way to look at life. That was his cosmology.
Hmm.
You know,
That's I mean, it's a fascinating idea, but what's terrifying is that if we're a commodity, then we're like beef cows that are eating all the grass that we want because it's valuable for them to get fat. That the chaos on this planet is actually engineered to ensure more rich souls.
you guys should talk about that.
Yeah,
He likes
I
this.
know some people that have been pretty far up the food chain that believe that there is mass manipulation of human affairs on a global scale for reasons that we can't understand.
And mass manipulation by humans or non-humans?
Non-humans, manipulating humans by non-humans to do things that they want us to do. There are some
Like what
theories,
kind of things
war,
specifically?
for example.
Really?
There's what's it called? The Gods of Eden. A guy named William Bramley, an attorney, sets out to write a book about the causes of war. And everywhere he goes throughout human history, he finds evidence of some kind of a exterior manipulation of human affairs, that they somehow benefit from us killing each other on a massive scale. William Bramley, Gods of Eden.
And what is the speculation? Like, what could it be that they would how would they benefit? Does he say?
Maybe it's souls, maybe releasing souls so that they can recycle them. I don't know. It's been 25 years since I read that book, but it's worth a read. I look back at the earlier this year. Sets out to write a book about the causes of war. And everywhere he goes throughout human history, he finds evidence of some kind of a exterior manipulation of human affairs, that they somehow benefit from us killing each other on a massive scale. William Bramley, Gods of Eden.
And what is the speculation? Like, what could it be that they would how would they benefit? Does he say?
Maybe it's souls, maybe releasing souls so that they can recycle them. I don't know. It's been 25 years since I read that book, but it's worth a read. I look back at the earlier this year. We had 3 UFOs, I'm using air quotes, shot out of the sky by the U.S. military. That's the story that gets printed in newspapers. U.S. military shoots down 3 UFOs, one of them being a Chinese balloon or whatever the other ones were. But, the public paid attention for 2-3 days. And then it's like, hey, when's that new Barbie movie coming out? And
Right.
just moved right along from it.
Yeah, and that's that news cycle. It's pretty wild. But it's also, again, you can only hear about UFOs for
To echo my friend, sorry guys, I wanted to hear about the book. Sorry, I was on mute. The book is called Gods of Eden by William Bramley. You guys can get it. It was written in 1993. William Bramley, B-R-A-M-L-E-Y. Yeah, it says they came to Earth millions of years ago to spread the poison of hatred, war, and catastrophe. They are with us still. Human history is a seemingly endless succession of bloody conflicts, devastating turmoil, yet inexplicably, in the light of astonishing intellectual and technological advancement, man's progress has been halted in one crucial area. He still indulges the primitive beast within and makes war upon his neighbors. As a result of 7 years of intense research, William Bramley has uncovered the sinister thread that links humanity's darkest events, from the wars of the ancient pharaohs to the assassination of JFK. In this remarkable, shocking, absolutely compelling work, Bramley presents disturbing evidence of an alien presence on Earth, extraterrestrial visitors who conspire to dominate humankind throughout violence and chaos since the beginning of time, a conspiracy which continues to this very day. My friends, we're talking about the Sitra Achra here. This is the Sitra Achra. Because these guys are talking about doing good deeds and this and that and the other, which would, I guess Joe Rogan said, he used the right language. He said it would fortify your soul, right? So if we're talking about something that is here to either harvest or kind of ferment, they liken the whole wine thing, right? Fermenting in a tank for the purpose of God knows what, then this is the Sitra Achra. This is the, as we call it in Kabbalah, the other side. This is what they're talking about without realizing it. And these entities may very well be, these dark forces that are here for that. And it could be that the people that have been doing what they're doing for the last 3 years, I mean, for sure, even before that, but the last 3 years it's been kind of on display, I think have harnessed have been wielding certain powers, and the fact that Frank and I got into this extensively, the fact that the stuff that they're making us inject plays, so to speak, with your DNA, that may be part of it. And I think these people and these entities could be, if not working together completely, at least they're taking the same power. They're drawing from the same source. Either way, guys, this is crazy. This is crazy. I think Frank and I are going to elaborate more on this. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a primer, I guess a 10-minute little primer. And B'ezrat Hashem, next week we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of this, and interesting stuff, guys. This is not something like enthusiast stuff and cool thing to. This is something that probably we're looking at right now. This is something that is happening, and we could see it all around us. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I could feel it. I could feel the stuff, kind of acting in the world, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this. And I guess Frank is, I will admit, more versed in a lot of the stuff than I am, and we could talk about it further, and also, a lot these guys, some of the things these guys were saying, it seems like they're missing a lot. Meaning, if you learn Kabbalah and Hasidut, you start to understand that people do mitzvot, or even what they were talking about, just being basically a good person and good deeds and all these kind of things. And where the Sitra Achra cannot, meaning it wants to feed off people like us, but there's ways to protect yourself, right? But at the same time, if the world gets to a place where there's a spiritual void, as there has been, right? Even with good people, this is like a, it's almost like a Darien gap, if you will, for the Sitra Achra to walk right through. You know what I mean? And this is what's been happening, and that's why we're probably, hearing a lot of talk about this now more than ever. But in a way, I would say it's a good thing, because now a lot of things are going to be uncovered, and we're going to see kind of what we're dealing with here, and how we can combat it. Again, guys, I made a video today. It's a spiritual war. It's primarily a spiritual war. It's not there's hot wars. It's a spiritual, the hot wars are caused by all the spiritual dynamics that you're seeing before you, right? It's all connected again. So anyway, guys, just wanted to listen to that, and Frank and I will get into it, B'ezrat Hashem, next week. All right, guys, peace.